What It Takes Radio Company presents me, Just Before the Storm, and a little radio reminiscing and 7 words to think about during the storm. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the What It Takes Radio Studio. The radio studio also means it is a television and a video studio, and so we have a variety of you might say AI wonderful constructed studios all around our virtual radio station. That's right, it is just as much a radio station as the stations that we see with the towers in the air and the transmitters in huge buildings, and then large studios to perhaps make the performance, do the presentation, do the production work. And so there is a large studio, and then there's a place for the transmitter, and then there is a significant space for tall and very expensive towers. That's right. That's radio. That's the radio that I actually began in and I really loved. It really had a sense of mystery and majesty, a sense of even nostalgia about it. In fact, there's now a regular magazine for old radio guys which asks them to send in their favorite towers pictures. That's right, nostalgic pictures of towers that kind of make them feel young again or remember the romance of radio. Well, that's changed a great deal. And of course, we've lost a lot in the loss of that great tradition. But we're trying to restore the tradition of radio to the fact that now that if we do it right, it doesn't require all that money and all that effort and all of that equipment to actually put yourself in front of a very reasonable microphone, in front of a rather inexpensive camera, and then through a simple technology and a computer and the internet connection, you can be a worldwide radio broadcaster. And now, one of the things I have been known for is that I use the term broadcast podcaster, not just podcaster. Now that goes back to my old days when I went to broadcasting school, and that was a tradition where they really put it to me, where I had to learn what it was like to think and act and perform, not just as someone on the radio, but as a professional broadcaster. Know how to do that, how to think that way, how to act that way, how to treat people kindly, and then, of course, to be able to stand in front of a microphone or stand in front of a crowd and speak clearly and use your voice as an instrument. That was part of my tradition. It still is. But what I'm trying to do is make sure that many people who would never even think of trying to be podcaster or broadcasters, but they have stories to tell. They may even have songs to sing, instruments to play, but they have some wisdom, insight, and truth, and they'd like to share it with other people around the world. And I want to help that happen. And it is happening. And so I'm just going to encourage you to keep that in mind. I'm in the business of helping you build your business and make money. That's what I do. If you have a business, I'm in the business of helping you build it and make money as a business performance coach. And I'm also responsible for making sure that you know, as a business owner, as a business leader, how to use this microphone, how to use that camera, so that you can be a leader teacher, a leader influencer, a leader broadcaster, and reach not only your colleagues, but your customers, and of course, to the people that you would like to attract, your audience that you want to become colleagues and clients and customers. So here we are thinking about these things as we await the storm. The storm is coming, so they say. And right now, where I'm at, they're getting all kinds of notices of church closings and building closings and road dangers and airports canceling flights. Yes, everybody is kind of tuckering in and waiting for the weather. Here we go. What I would like you to do, as we've been told, maybe we should just sit home and think, pray, uh, read, maybe relax, maybe even wonder a little bit about the life we're going to lead. Now it's January 26th. I've made a commitment that I want this to be a significant year in my life. I want very, very much to do something that will be beneficial for me and my wife and my family, and for my community, and for the many people who honor me by being in the audience and being clients, customers, and friends of my life and my business. I want it to be a special year. And so that's one of my hopeful intentions. Now, to do that, I spend a lot of time just trying to think of things, to read and take notes of things. One of the things about being a broadcaster is that proverbial, what Rush Limbaugh said, you accumulate a stack of stuff. Just books and magazines and articles of interest. And you really become a person who reads a lot, thinks a lot, sings a lot, listens a lot, and then is looking for, of all of the things I've accumulated or have come into my life, what would be worth sharing? What would people perhaps benefit from hearing? Not just because I want to say it and tell it, but I always say, yeah, I might want to say it and tell it, but what about them? The key people, the important people, the listener, the viewer. So there we go. Little introduction to the radio mindset. And by the way, no matter what it is, it's a radio station. It could be video, it could be streaming, it could be cable. It's all radio, which means is that you take an electric current and you make it go real fast. And when you make it go real fast, radiation waves leave the wires and become a means of communication. Quite amazing. Quite incredible. One of the men responsible for some of that was a man named Tesla, and who has hardly ever been heard of until Elon Musk decided to name his automobile after a brilliant but barely known person named Nikola Tesla. And we'll talk about him sometime. But right now, here's my 7 words. Both as a coach and as a human being, as a father, grandfather, and someone who wants to live a good life. Here are the words that might describe what most of us want in life. And I've discovered that these are 7 words that perhaps describe you. Now, what I would like for you to do, though, just as I say these 7 words, what comes to mind for you? All right, here we go. First word, better. Better. When I say better, what comes to your mind? What do you want to be better in your life? Better. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. What comes into your mind about beautiful? Okay. Bolder. Okay. Remember? Better. Beautiful. bolder, bolder, braver. I want to be better. I want to be beautiful. I want to be bolder. I want to be braver. What comes to your mind when the word braver is used? Richer. What do you want? What does that mean to you? Now, it probably means something about having more money, but anything else? To say, I would like to be richer. What does that mean? What thought? What other words? What other things come to mind when I say richer? Smarter. Smarter. What would you like to be a little bit smarter about? Smarter. Wiser. Is wiser the same as smarter? Or is it something quite different? Smarter, wiser. Here we go. Review. Better. Beautiful. Bright. Oh, that's right. I didn't include that one when we began, did I? That's because I want to say it now, before bolder. What does that mean to be bright? Now, I'm not talking about bright here in your head. He's pretty bright. That would be more smarter. But what does it mean to be bright? To be shiny, to stand out, to be different. What does it mean to do that? Okay. Here we go. Wiser. And the final one is, what does it mean to matter? Matter. Think about that too. What does it mean to matter? Now, what we are discovering is all of us really want to matter. We want to make a difference. We were made that way. That's part of the divine inspired image that all of us carry. We were made for meaning. We were made for a purpose. You were made for something. There might be a big, gold, bright, hairy, wonderful purpose for you here on planet Earth. And are you doing it? Are you discovering it? Are you finding out perhaps what it might be? All right, there you go. Maybe you wrote those down. Maybe they just come to mind. But, you know, during the storm, use some of those words to just give your mind a time to touch your spirit and maybe touch your heart and what you truly wish. As I oftentimes say, are you living the life you want, or are you living the life you got? What can change? What could change? What could be different? What could be even completely transformed for you, where you kind of pick up all the sticks in 26? I'm Stan Houston, waiting for the storm and with just some things to think about. All the best and blessings. Stay safe, stay warm, comfort one another, and perhaps have a little comfort and joy in the midst of the storm. Yes, Best and blessings to you. Till next time, I'm Stan. Reach out to me at stan@witradio.net, stan@witradio.net. All the best. Bye for now.